he poured the wine, and I just remember raising the glass up to my nose, and didn't even get it all the way up, and just the smell came out to meet me. It was so sensual, so redolent of all sorts of things, and yet at the time I didn't know how to describe it. I just knew how it made me feel. And so I knew that was the moment when I started to become intrigued with wine. Why is this affecting me this way?
It saved you from rehab, perhaps, because then you could get off the hard stuff and into the wine.
That's right, coming from a good Scottish family.
Of course.
That's true.
Me too. I have that too in my background. Jay McInerney, they call him the cocaine author. He's not a cocaine author. He's a New York celeb author, Bright Lights, Big City.
Right.
You met him. Have you been to his cellar?
He lives in a small apartment, so he stores his wines for the most part off-site. So we met at his favorite restaurant called Crew. Naturally, it has a cellar in New York, a cellar of 80,000 bottles. And they brought out the wine lists. There was one list for red, one list for white. They were like phone directories. So it was like,
well, you know about that. What about someone like me who knows a bit?
Yes, well, it can be really intimidating looking at a restaurant wine list. It's where do I start? And I mean, the first thing that I advise if someone asks me is find out if someone can help you. If there's a sommelier, or just ask for the person who put together the wine list and start with that person and say, what are you really excited about on this list? You could narrow it down for them too. You could say, I'm having the steak, I like a full-bodied red, maybe in this range, and you can be pointing on the list to the price because only you and the wine guy are going to see.
Oh, that's a good idea rather than saying something like around $40.
Yeah, exactly. Declaring out loud how much you're willing to pay for love or the business deal.
Oh, yes. That's a very good idea.
Yep.
You can go,
yep, that's right. You're tipping the list.
Or maybe you could say something like the 75 Brunello, and then he looks at the price.
Right.
Do sommeliers do that?
They do if they're subtle.
They're smart.
Yeah, exactly. Diplomatic. So yeah, you can try for that. And then otherwise, if you're on your own, or you really don't get the sense that there's someone there who can help you, go with the specialty of the restaurant.
Right.
So if you're in an Italian restaurant, try to choose an Italian wine. It's going to go with the food. They probably are stocked up on more choices for Italian wines. It's a better bet.
And ask them. They put the wine list together, and that's one of the reasons they're there.
Exactly.
They won't bring you a $20,000 bottle of wine.
No, and most sommeliers are on salary these days. They're not on tips, and so they're not out to sell you a Venus Porsche.
That's good.
Yes.
Opus One. Well, that was a bit of a cult wine.
It was. The California, it was a collaboration between Robert Mondavi and Rothschild from Bordeaux. It's a fabulous wine from California, but it goes for about $200 a bottle these days. So yeah, pretty pricey.
Pretty pricey. And some would ask, what the heck is the difference between a $200 bottle of wine, a $50 bottle of wine, or a $25 bottle of wine? Who would pay $200 for a bottle of wine, or $400, or $20,000?
That's true. The price-quality ratio is mysterious in wine. At the low end, it's pretty direct. So there are cost factors that go into making a wine. So how much did you pay for that vineyard plot? Taxes. Did you pay someone to develop the label, sort of design costs, that sort of thing? Are you using French barrels from the best forests in France, and so on? So there's a relationship there. But then wine at the high end, what you're talking about, 50, 100, 200, becomes a luxury product. And then you've got elements of prestige, competition between neighboring farmers or vintners in terms of whose bottle costs the most. People chasing after bottles because they got a high score from Robert Parker, wine critic, and so on. And then it becomes completely irrational.
Sure, irrational. Well, I have had the privilege of tasting some fine wines. Wealthy boyfriend.
Oh, nice.
Ex, but
well,
sad, isn't that
should have
sad?
kept him.
Yeah, back to the $50. No, but do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, it is incredible when you have that first sip of. And it's not about the price, but sometimes it is a bit orgasmic. I have to say.
Absolutely. It's a very sensual experience. Wine is, it affects us. It has a buzz, and, I think that there's a lot of wine writing that stays in your head, stays in the head, and maybe it's because I was a dancer, but I respond fully to wine, mind and body.
The other great thing is to find a bottle of wine that is affordable
Right.
and fabulous.
Yes.
And no one knows yet.
Oh, yes. It's like the undiscovered gem, like going to see some rock star before they were a rock star and you just paid the bar cover charge.
Exactly. Now, there are people, as you know, who rate wine. Robert Parker.
Yes.
People have been Parkerized almost. They're Parker sheep. Robert Parker says it's good.
Right.
Buy it.
Right.
Do you believe in that?
Yes and no. I think critics, including Parker, have had good and not so good effects on the market. So where it's been good is that we have a young wine drinking and making culture here in North America. Parker and other critics gave us the confidence to drink our own wines, which is really important. Until then, it was, French wines, Italian, Spanish.
Right.
But they said, hey, this California Cabernet, it's a 98. And so people sort of perked up because we resonated with that. We rate movies and restaurants and a lot of other things in our culture. And so it gave the confidence to consumers to buy the wines. It gave a market boost to producers. So that effect has been good.
And you say in here several times, trust your nose. If you think it
Exactly.
smells like rose petals fluttering up, or if you think it's earth, leather, and spice,
Yes.
it smells like your grandfather, perhaps it does.
Exactly.
And if it smells like a gas station, well,
So be it.
so be it.
It's
Some
subjective.
do.
It's personal taste.
It is personal
It
taste.
is.
Great writing.
Thank
You
you.
won the MFK Fisher Award, didn't
I
you?
did.
Wasn't that one of your awards?
Yes.
So you'll be at Barbara Joe's, Books for Cooks, fabulous place, West 2nd Avenue, and that will be tonight
Exactly.
at 6:30.
Yes.
Red, White, and Drunk all over. And then tomorrow, BC Wine Museum in Kelowna.
Right.
Fabulous.
Yeah, thank you.
Studio 4 goes to Kelowna.
Oh, good. Great.
All good.
Excellent.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Fanny. Great to be here.
Thank you. Natalie McLean, Red, White, and Drunk all over, a wine-soaked journey from grape to glass. Tomorrow, Irish-Chinese-Canadian comic Tommy Chong of the legendary duo Cheech and Chong has recently experienced some very scary police state tactics and spent some time in a U.S. jail. The Pope of Pot and self-described stoner throws the I Ching and tells us some unbelievable stories in I Chong, Meditations from the Joint. And she'll always be green, but she will no longer lead the BC Greens. Adrian Carr comes in for a What Next political chat. Thanks for watching Studio 4. There will be lots more on Shaw TV, only on Shaw TV.